everyone, welcome to the GrandLAN video blog for books that came out on May 13th, 2009. As always, I'm Craig, your host. This is part 2 of 3. If you missed part 1, we got some Marvel books for you there. Actually, 7 Marvel books. We crammed it all in. I don't know how it's going to turn out. There might be some bad editing on it. I don't know. But anyways, you can watch it wherever you're watching this one. Facebook, MySpace, YouTube, ProjectFanboy.com. And as always, part 3 will have some really good indie books to talk about. But we're going to talk about some DC books, 6 of them actually. Let's just keep up the rapid pace and keep going. Action Comics 877 is where we're starting. I know there's been a little bit of debate about what I said about 876 and how the book seems to kind of not necessarily not know where it's going, but feel like it can't go where it wants to go. And Greg Rucka is writing an interesting story here, but we're seeing a little less of the adventures of Flamebird and Nightwing as it was originally pitched, and more, you know, the fallout of them having some short-term adventures and now what they have to deal with. You know, Flamebird's in trouble. She's messed up really bad. They had to go to Lois to help, you know, to get some help. You can't go too far into the New Krypton story because obviously that's going on in Superman World of New Krypton. You can't go too far into Mon-El and Metropolis because that's over in Superman. You can't talk too much about like the Supergirl characters because they're over in Supergirl. It's just kind of here, and we're trying to fit it all in, but it's at the same time not really quite meshing with the rest of the Superman line that's being presented right now. So it's a tough book. I mean, it's still very solid. It still reads very good. It's just when you step back from it and you look at the overarching, you know, okay, where are we going to go? You know, 3 issues down the road, are we going to have actually accomplished anything? It's going to be really tough to say. Rucka's still writing good stuff, but there's just a lack of direction. Not for intention of direction, but just not being able to go where he needs to go or where the story seems to want to go. I have a feeling editorial is really going to sink this book because it's just everybody else has a niche, and this niche, either Rucka's written himself into a corner or somebody told him to write this idea and he's stuck in a corner because it can't just be the happy-go-lucky adventures of Flamebird and Nightwing. It seems like it's got to go somewhere else, and it's not going to get there. Next up, the conclusion of the Azrael miniseries, 3-part miniseries here, Azrael Death's Dark Knight. A little bit more of a Battle for the Cowl tie-in. Fabian Nicieza and Fraser Irving wrap it up pretty nicely to establish the Azrael that's kind of been running around for all 3 issues pretty much, for most of the 3 issues at least, as the Azrael that we will see going forward. Supposedly there's going to be a new Azrael ongoing series. You get a little Nightwing appearance to tie it back to what's going on in Gotham. Also, the Talia al Ghul part is nice, and a little more of talking about why the Suit of Sorrows was originally given to Bruce Wayne, which is really builds off of the first issue and ties back to the 3rd issue. The 2nd issue didn't have a lot of that, but it seems like a satisfying ending. It seems like a pretty good story arc for just 3 issues. You know, just introducing the idea of Azrael and the Order of Saint Dumas again back into the DC universe. So it's passable. It fits exactly what it was supposed to do. It's just put another character on the board for Gotham City in the Bat universe. Next up, Green Lantern 36. I don't know. I'm losing steam on this. It's interesting. We get to see some really interesting scenes, but overall, I'm not feeling it as much as I was last month or the month before. It's losing me. I think all this talk about Blackest Night, I'm already looking forward to Blackest Night. I've already read the Free Comic Book Day Blackest Night preview. Let's get there already. You know, I know the Red Lanterns are doing this, and this is going more directly towards it than obviously Green Lantern, because we've got to still introduce all the other colors and get around the color spectrum or whatever we've got to do. But it's kind of losing its appeal to me. It's not necessarily any fault of the writer. Peter Tomasi's still doing a great job. Just felt like there was less in this issue for me to get excited about than there was in the past couple. Still a solid book, but kind of losing my excitement for the Green Lantern series right now. I don't know what it is. What remains as great as ever, though, is Secret 6. It is a Battle for the Cowl tie-in, but if you're reading Battle for the Cowl, you can skip this book, and if you're reading Secret 6, you don't have to know anything about the Battle for the Cowl other than that Batman's dead, but that's not really a secret. Secret 6, number 9, again, Gail Simone, just exploring some very interesting characters. I like how she's compartmentalizing this book, breaking down the characters. Here we get mostly just Bane, Ragdoll, and Catman running adventures in Gotham City, trying to honor the legacy of Batman, even though they are technically supervillains. They're trying to honor that legacy. They run into Nightwing, and Nightwing gives them crap about it. But again, it's just an interesting exploration of villains who right now aren't really just cackling, mustache twirling, you know, tying damsels to the train tracks and taking $1 million in a big sack with a dollar sign on it. That's not what they're about, you know. They do act selfishly at times, and they've been called villains as such, but they still have this sense of honor to Gotham City and to Batman and what Batman stood for, in that they're still trying to stop some villains from doing some bad things. So, very unique story. As I've said, this series has just been a unique look into supervillains. This is definitely where it should be. You know, Dark Avengers has nothing on Gail Simone at Secret Six right now. Oh, the pain continues in Death Trap Part 4, Titans number 13. We keep moving forward with Jericho and the possibility that we're going to see more of this development. Hey, guess what? The Titans are all wrapped into this elaborate death trap, and meanwhile Jericho has a great escape a mile and some away. He's got binoculars, and he's got a guy with his eyes open so he can, you know, teleport out there through the eyes, and then kaboom! Yes, the book sucked. It deserved that throw. It was terrible. Again, now we obviously have seen the Teen Titans die. The Titans have died. Vigilante is still going to, you know, try to stop Jericho, but Jericho's gotten away with everything. Everyone's been in an explosion except for Cyborg, who's in the hospital and beaten up, and now all of a sudden he's really excited and he's going to run in. And I'm sure in part 5 or 6 we're just going to get some bullshit story about how the Titans you know, faked their deaths or didn't really die in the explosion, or it was some sort of illusion to spark Cyborg out of what was going on, or, you know, whatever's going on. It's crap. It's just simply crap. It's, you know, if you really don't want to ever think logically about anything you're reading in a comic book, just keep reading Teen Titans, because as soon as you apply logic to it, it goes out the window. It doesn't make any sense. If you're just going to read it and mindlessly go, oh, okay, yeah, that's good, that's good, that's a good Titans character, I like the Teen Titans, blah, 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 and never think about whether it makes sense or not, just keep reading the book. Until then, just throw it over there. Leave it on the floor. I don't want to start a nationwide revolution, though. Don't go through like your comic store and just start tossing the Teen Titans off the shelves. As funny as it would be, as some sort of like guerrilla statement of how bad the book is, it's not a good idea. Lastly, the Unwritten #1 from Vertigo. Look, folks, it's a Vertigo #1. Do you wish that you owned Y the Last Man #1? Do you wish you owned Sandman #1? Do you wish you owned any of them? DMZ #1? For $1? No less? This is a ton of reading by Mike Carey and Peter Gross with a very, very unique premise. The idea being that this character, or this person, Tommy Taylor, who exists in the real world, his dad wrote a series of novels, 13 novels, very Harry Potter-esque. And now he's doing the convention circuit and trying to make money, and, you know, he can't really make money on his own. It's just his legacy is being based on this character. And then the drastic revelation, which I'm not going to say, which turns the book on its ear and really sets up some very interesting stuff. It's Vertigo, but there's not a lot of gore. It's just a lot of F-bombs, and that's pretty much all it is here. Other than that, it doesn't necessarily need to be suggested for mature readers, but it's still a very, very interesting twist on the Harry Potter idea. Definitely worth checking out. It's $1, and it's much more solid than half the stuff I read that's $3 to $4 this week. So you can do no wrong buying Unwritten #1. That's it for this installment. We'll see you with part 3 with some indie books. Thanks for watching.